Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever's star guard, spoke at a Women's Sports Awards luncheon in Kansas City, Missouri on Tuesday, sharing her experiences with confidence, failure, and progress in her rookie WNBA season. Clark stated that confidence comes from preparation and experience, emphasizing that setbacks had been critical to her success. However, this story has more to it than meets the eye. According to CC22 supporters, the star Indiana Fever guard warned the competition ahead of the 2025 WNBA season. She appears to be the clear winner this year. And with the fresh and wonderful additions the Fever has made to the roster, it's simple to see why. More on that later. First, let's speak about Caitlin's shots at other teams. Confidence? That's where it comes from for me, Clark said. But it's not like something you just have. It comes from the time you put in and how much you trust yourself because you worked for that moment. And I think also reminding yourself that it's okay to fail. Not every moment has gone how I planned throughout my career, but a lot of the times you reflect back on the things that have happened, and the failures are the reason that I've had a lot of really good success, whether it was in college or my WNBA career. My rookie year wasn't always the greatest, looking back at the beginning, Clark said. But by the time we got to the end a few months later, I felt like a completely different person. As Clark finishes her offseason, the Fever have been active in free agency, signing two-time WNBA champion DeWanna Bonner from the Connecticut Sun and trading for former Defensive Player of the Year Natasha Howard with the Dallas Wings. The Fever also signed experienced guard Sophie Cunningham from the Phoenix Mercury. Could they be going for a title run this season? However, that's not even all. There's been a lot of movement from the Fever camp this trading season. The Indiana Fever signed free agent guard Sydney Colson on Thursday, bringing another WNBA champion to play behind all-star point guard Caitlin Clark. Colson spent the previous 3 seasons with the Las Vegas club, which has won the last 2 league championships. She was also a vital member of Texas AANDM's 2011 NCAA championship team. Sydney is a proven veteran in our league and throughout her career delivered for her teams in many big moments, General Manager Amber Cox said in a statement. She brings a championship pedigree to the Fever, adding depth to our point guard position. We have the utmost confidence in her ability to step into any situation and deliver on both ends of the floor. Colson has averaged 2.8 points and 1.6 assists since being chosen by the Connecticut Sun in 2011 and then traded to the New York Liberty. She also has a lifetime shooting percentage of 40.4%, including a career-high 44.4% during the first of the Aces' 2 championship campaigns. The 6-time playoff veteran, who will most likely back up Clark, continues Indiana's hunt for consistency this offseason. Indiana has already signed free agency forwards Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner, both of whom have championship rings, and traded for shooting guard Sophie Cunningham, who spent the previous 6 seasons with title contender Phoenix. They'll join a Fever core anchored by 3 returning All-Stars, Clark and forward Aaliyah Boston, the last 2 WNBA Rookies of the Year, and shooting guard Kelsey Mitchell, from a squad that overcame a 7-year playoff drought last season before being eliminated in the first round. Colson believes she will fit right in with Indiana. I am very excited for this new opportunity with Indiana. I know several players and coaches from the Fever, and I trust what I know about them, Colson said. I'm excited to be a part of the vision that the staff has for this team, and I'm ready to get to work. DeWanna Bonner is also heading to Indiana to join Caitlin Clark and the Fever. The 6-time All-Star spent the previous 5 years in Connecticut, helping the Sun go to the WNBA Finals in 2022. Last season, she averaged 15.0 points, 6.0 rebounds, and 2.0 assists, earning All-Star honors. Bonner's relocation to Indiana reunites her with coach Stephanie White, for whom she previously played in Connecticut. Bonner brings championship experience to the Fever, who are led by Clark, the reigning Rookie of the Year, and Aaliyah Boston, the award winner in 2023. Bonner, 37, won 2 titles in Phoenix, where incoming Indiana general manager Amber Cox was the team's president. The Fever, who were ousted in the first round of the playoffs by Connecticut last season, have also added Natasha Howard and re-signed Kelsey Mitchell. They also acquired Sophie Cunningham as part of a 4-team swap. "I'm excited we made some great moves," Clark said a few hours before her alma mater, Iowa, retired her jersey. "I think you know," President of Basketball and Business Operations, Kelly Krauskopf, and Amber and the whole Fever organization are wanting to help us win now. That's really important. They are putting really good pieces together that will complement each other really, really well. Natasha Howard, on the other hand, has signed with the Indiana Fever in hopes of winning another championship. She hopes it occurs this season. The 2-time WNBA All-Star and 2019 Defensive Player of the Year leads the Fever's off-season revamp. The seasoned forward, who will play alongside superstar Caitlin Clark, has the potential to help one of the league's youngest and most promising organizations become a championship contender. "We have the talent, and we have the people too," Howard said during her reintroduction to Indy, where her pro career began in 2014. "I'm happy to be part of this, and also from a leadership standpoint, to show the young people what it takes to win a championship." Howard understands what's necessary, having won 1 championship with the Minnesota Lynx and 2 with the Seattle Storm throughout an 11-year career. That's one of the reasons why Fever President of Business and Basketball Operations, Kelly Krauskopf, and new General Manager Amber Cox opted to pursue Howard. Cox was hired in October after 3 years in the Dallas Wings front office. Howard has spent the last 2 seasons with Dallas. Howard joins 3 other All-Stars on the roster: Clark, shooting guard Kelsey Mitchell, and forward Aaliyah Boston. Clark and Boston are the league's most recent rookies of the year, and the Fever signed Mitchell to a new contract last week to keep her off the free agent list. There are plenty of changes too. Stephanie White, a former Fever standout, is returning to Indianapolis for her 2nd season as head coach after being named the league's 2023 Coach of the Year by Connecticut. She was an assistant with the Fever when the 6'2" Howard last played in Indianapolis. Krauskopf believes Howard will offer as much value off the court as on it. "The young group we're bringing back, they asked us to protect our locker room, to protect the culture we got started," Krauskopf said. So knowing Natasha as a young player and then watching how when you go to other teams and you help teams win championships, that's really something special, and everywhere she's gone, she's won. She's a winner. That's a significant advantage for a franchise that began last season in the midst of a 7-year postseason drought and with back-to-back #1 choices. Everything changed when the Fever drafted Clark, a generational star who garnered massive television audiences and fans everywhere she went during her historic first season. Clark shattered the league's single-season records for assists and three-pointers by a rookie, becoming the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double. She was named the Associated Press's Female Athlete of the Year. She's worked on her shooting, she can dictate the floor as a point guard, and she's an amazing passer, Howard said of Clark. "So I'm just really excited to be part of this team and to catch her passes." Clark has a full off-season to work out with teammates while adjusting to a new coach, so he has high expectations for 2025. It's all part of the plan Krauskopf, Cox, and White began putting together late last fall. Keeping Mitchell and adding Howard were Indiana's primary goals, but they were far from the only ones, as the past week has shown. Shortly after the Howard deal was announced, Indiana acquired sharpshooting guard Sophie Cunningham from Phoenix as part of a 4-team trade that included starter forward Nelissa Thomas moving to Dallas. Then, on Sunday, Indiana signed another veteran, 37-year-old Dawana Bonner, a 2-time WNBA champion and 6-time All-Star who previously played under White in Connecticut. The combination provides the Fever with championship experience, which they lacked when they were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs last season. "There's no substitute for experience," White said. "We sat here in November and we talked about that, and we've got players and are getting players through free agency that have experience. We're not going to sacrifice the culture we have, and we're going to continue to build because that's consistency. And when you have consistency, you have an opportunity to win multiple championships, right? Indiana has advanced to the WNBA Finals 3 times, most recently in 2015, and won its only title in 2012. Howard is here to try and fix that. It's really exciting to be playing with Boston, Clark, and Mitchell, players that I also say stuff to on the court against them, Howard said. So I'm happy to be playing with them and not against them. So could Caitlin become a champion this season? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.